Hi guys. Um, Today I thought I would help you with the assignments. Now we got two assignments. One is called, I'm looking at my computer right now, um, create a story, character, and set for future stop motion video. The other one, now that one is due Friday, and the one that's due tomorrow is called make a sketch of your setting, scenery, and props. So let's go ahead and look at, let me go ahead and look at these assignments. Now, it says here, your creative task this week is to plan and create or build a character and a film set. Now, you're supposed to build a background based on a story that you write. So it's either a setting or a background based on the story you write. You will choose your theme, then sketch out your plan for the setting. That's due tomorrow. So, and then after you're done with the plan, then you gather the materials and construct your background. Now, keep in mind, it says you construct your background. That does not necessarily mean that you're like building a bunch of stuff. It can, right? But I know there are some people that would rather do, let's say, a painting or a drawing for background. That's okay if you do that. Just so long as if you do a drawing or a painting, that you have to give it the illusion of depth. So you need to add some shading or coloring and blending, make it look good. Now, the two main minimal requirements are, number one, the set and the characters have to be 100% made by you. That means we're not using Legos, we're not using toys, we're not just taking pictures of our family member, whoever's there with you, your brother and sister or whatever. No, you're creating your own set. It goes on and on and on, but basically, if you go up to the line for the instructions, right, and you understand it, then you're good. There's a lot of additional stuff. There's some ideas, right? A short story following the theme of life during quarantine. So this needs to be related. The story needs to be related somehow to life during quarantine, and I'm going to do an example for you. And then there's a list of prompts. Do you have to follow the list of prompts? Absolutely not. If you have your own idea, I'm just, we just added ideas to help you brainstorm and get your creative juices flowing. So the main three things that we want on this assignment are, number one, the story. Number two, the character or characters, if there's more than one. And the film set or the background. So you got the story, the character, and the setting, basically. Now, what is due today is the plan. The plan is called make a sketch of your setting, scenery, and props. Now, that one you need to start with because keep in mind the story that you create, that's the thing that drives everything else, right? So let's look at how you might start a story. Let me think about my story, okay? Here's what I did. I thought, okay, I need to make a story, right? And then I got the who, I got to do a circle around the what, where. I know they might not be in the same order as the video from the guy, but that's okay. When. Okay, let's think about this. It's got to be, I'm going to make a story during isolation, right? Now, who are the characters? Well, in my story, the characters are a teacher, and his wife. Okay? And there are other characters, and let's see, we got hummingbirds. So what's going on? Well, my wife was watching the hummingbirds. What happened is my wife had what do you call it, a hummingbird feeder. She was wondering why aren't they eating, and then she went online and found out, oh, you need to clean it up and put fresh fresh sugar water, and so she learned how to make the sugar water. So you clean the hummingbird feeders. She asked me to buy some more. I bought some more, so we had hummingbird feeders all over the place now, and we were enjoying, especially my wife. She enjoyed watching the hummingbirds feed on the feeders, right? So the hummingbirds. They can also be the character. Now, keep in mind, when you have your story written, or, you know, I'm not going to write down the whole story right now. I just have it all in my head so I can explain it to you. So where is it? Well, this could be the window. And then outside the window, there's a at the feeders. We could be at also where would be home. Okay. Maybe if I'm just doing a scene from my story, then the who could be the hummingbirds. It could be all about the hummingbirds. I was going to put HB, if that's okay, hummingbirds. So I think I've got enough for a story. So here's what happened. My wife was all happy. The hummingbirds started eating. And then we noticed that the male hummingbirds started fighting off the other hummingbirds. So they would claim their territory. So there's a little tree by the window, and which is by the feeder. And the male hummingbird would either sit there on the perch on the feeder, on the hummingbird feeder, or he would sit on the tree or on a branch in the tree close to the feeder. And anytime any other hummingbirds would come in, he would chase them off, right? So then we found out, or we learned that it's part of nature, part of life. That the male hummingbirds are territorial. What happened, even more interesting, is that one day we found a new bird, different bird, that was sitting on a perch nearby, and we were wondering, well, I've never seen that bird before. So I looked it up, and I found out that it was a shrike. Let's see, what's the name of it? It's called a loggerhead shrike is the name of the bird. And these loggerhead shrikes, what they do is they eat hummingbirds. They eat large insects, and they also eat small birds. So the shrike was there waiting to eat the hummingbird. And when my wife found out, she got upset. And she asked me, well, go out there and chase the shrike away so it doesn't hurt our poor little hummingbirds. But anyway, that's the story. And now that I have a story, my story can drive what it is I'm going to do. So now that I have my story for the project that's due, I did some little sketches of hummingbirds, right? And so I figured out, okay, maybe I can do, because I don't need to do the whole story. I just need to do a 30 to 45 second stop motion video, right? So maybe the setting could be a window. And then maybe I could do a big window drawing or painting of it, and that can be my background. And in the window, I can have a horizon line, and I can have a tree or clouds, I could do trees. I could put a perch coming here. or what do you call it, a little hummingbird feeder. These are the little flower shapes on the feeder. And then my little bird, I did do some sketches of hummingbirds. So I can sketch the hummingbird. He could be flying, different poses of the hummingbirds. I can do one perched, or I can just make. So I have a choice. Either I can do this 3D and make a background and kind of prop it up. Like, let's say this is my background, and I just prop it up. I could fold it or attach something to the back so it's propped up. And then I can hang, I don't know, something that represents a makeshift hummingbird feeder. And I can have little wires, I guess, or string and hang a little fake hummingbird. Or I can do this, where I make a hummingbird and move him around very slowly so that he's chasing the other hummingbird. If you do it like this, make sure you shade it or color it with colored pencils, markers, or whatever. So it can be flat so that you're moving your stuff around, or it can be three-dimensional where you're building stuff. I hope that helps you. What I'm asking for you to turn in would be your plan for your set, right? So in my case, I could also draw myself and my wife, or I could just do looking out the window. In my case, to make it easier, I might just draw some hummingbirds with different poses and have those to where they move around and so they chase each other. I really hope that helps, guys. Have a wonderful day.